Well, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Blue 365. Kentucky's got Ole Miss this week. I never did do a post-game Auburn or a halftime video last week at all. And I'll talk a little bit about it because I owe it to y'all. Kentucky did come out and look strong last week. They also, the offensive line, looked good. And I think the defensive line held up. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. And, Kentucky jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Auburn came back immediately after Kentucky stopping them and jumped out to scored a touchdown of their own and successfully converted the 2-point conversion. By the way, guys, I'm in Georgia, so came down to see the girlfriend. See a little UK there. I don't know exactly where I'm at, and I'm trying not to use navigation. But Kentucky, we held up, great in the first half. Came out a little. Let's just go back to that. Let's go right to that halftime, right before halftime. Let's go right there. We'll just go there. Kentucky, obviously, in my opinion, Chris Rodriguez is in for a touchdown. But before y'all say anything, I'll give you the argument that he may have been down to one. That knee may have touched. Really, the knee touched probably closer to, towards the 2, but the ball was at the 1. So after review, when they said no touchdown and they still marked the ball inside the 1, that's where I have a problem. Because if he was inside the 1, then he scored a touchdown. If he's, at the 1 or further back, then I understand the knee being down. Really never got an explanation of why they said no touchdown. The very next play after that, I don't know how that's not a face mask. I really don't. Auburn player had his hand on the back of the helmet and all over Terry Wilson's face mask. If anything, that's a first down. I know he clearly didn't get in. And then let's go to the very next play. Terry Wilson throws that interception. Auburn did run it back for a touchdown, and it got called back because of a targeting. That targeting is by the book. It's right there. You look up targeting in the rules book, there it is. Picture of that play. Kentucky comes out in the second half, started off really slow. And I really think they lost momentum when they didn't get that touchdown. Auburn, comes out and they score another touchdown, and they go up. What was that? 15 to 7. And it stayed there for a while. Kentucky, still struggled to move the ball on offense in the second half. A lot of times you'll hear me complain about Kentucky not throwing the ball. This time I will complain about Kentucky not running the ball. I thought the ground was clearly our edge on this game. But I like what I've seen. And this is coming from somebody who thinks Eddie Grant should have been gone, 2 years ago. I liked what I've seen from Mark Stoops and Eddie Grant against Auburn. We were pretty balanced for the most part. We were run heavy the first half, pass heavy in the second half, mainly because we got behind. I think we should have ran. I still think the run was been a little more beneficial to Kentucky's offense and moving the ball. But you got to throw the ball to, to open up the running game a little more. And we had 2 turnovers in the second half. That's really where this game went bad. But there's 2 turnovers. Even though the one Auburn did not capitalize a score on, you still had that Terry Wilson fumble. I expected Terry Wilson to be rusty. I don't have a problem with that. But there's an idiot in our fan base that writes articles. He says Terry Wilson should not be our quarterback. I'm just going to disagree. I haven't seen Joey Gatewood yet, and I'm not going to, a guy that got us 10 wins and a Citrus Bowl, championship. We are, as Uncle Lou says all the time, we are Kentucky. Basketball, we're God. Football, not so much. We have that, a lot of people disputed 1951 Sheridan National Championship. But this guy goes on and starts talking about how bad the defense was. And this is all on Facebook. The guy's name is Josh Henry. He shares it. The blue hair UK guy. That's another way to look him up. I disagree with him totally, and I disown him from our fan base. I've met the guy. I actually let him stay with me at the Citrus Bowl. And the guy is all about the camera. That's it. That's all he wants. He ain't a UK fan. It's all about getting on TV as a fan. So I'm going to drop it. But he made one thing. He says a bad pass by Terry Wilson right before halftime on that interception. I immediately thought, I'm pretty sure it was Josh Ali, who's the guy who actually jumped in front of the pass and caught it. Josh Ali was in the wrong spot, in the wrong area, and he condensed that area, made it very tight. Because I actually thought Chris Rodriguez was wide open when Terry threw that ball. Obviously, he wasn't. And Mark Stoops even said that Terry Wilson made the right made the right play, threw the ball to the right spot, and that the wide receiver was actually out of position. From what I saw, I totally agree. Still, Terry Wilson only turned the ball over twice of our 3. But what I was talking about before I got on that damn article, I had to get that on and over with. Besides those 2 turnovers in the second half, you also had a very bad decision. I don't know if it was Stoops was obviously mad when it happened, but after the game, he took, and even in his Monday press conference Monday, he took the blame for it. But that fake punt, that was, I'm not even 100% sure if he even punts that ball, he gets it away. It's not blocked. But I feel like his rugby style would have, maybe he could have got it away that way. I'm not, I can't guarantee that, but I didn't see it. I didn't really see that play going good either way. But that hurt. Because then we gave him the ball around the 25, 30, I think it was, yard line. But I'm going to end it right there at the Auburn game. So, Kentucky fell short. That's actually how Auburn pulled away from us. Otherwise, I really think that the second, that touchdown not being counted took momentum away from Kentucky. Because it seemed like they kind of, I don't know, they just kind of hung their heads a little bit. I'm not going to say they hung their heads, but that's just kind of where they kind of slowed down. And that's a huge momentum for Kentucky. I mean, there's a big difference going into halftime up 14-8, or maybe, I don't know. I didn't like the 2-point conversion from the get-go when we tried it. Kick the extra point, you're down 15-14. A field goal. Defensive game goes, at least a field goal would win this game. And I don't care about Matt Ruffalo being on the team or not. Chance Poore is a very good kicker. There's a reason he was a 4-star, kicker out of South Carolina, Anderson, South Carolina. Wanted to go to Clemson. Clemson actually poured his scholarship for a coach's kid, and I truly believe in him. I think Kentucky would have won the game that way. I think that even if we scored that touchdown before halftime, that we could have easily came out of halftime and put Auburn away. But that's not neither here or there. Kentucky goes on to lose 29-13. So that's that. And I'm just going to move on from it. Now we got Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss coming to town. I had a chance to go to this game. I chose to come down and see my girlfriend and spend some time with her. I hadn't seen her in a while. So I'm currently down here in Georgia. But Ole Miss did put up, 400 yards on Florida's defense last week. A heavy pass. I'm not even, next week we got to play Mississippi State. I'm kind of interested in seeing what Michael Leach and Mississippi State do this week. Because they put up, 400 and some, 500 yards passing, something like that. They just threw the ball all over the place. I mean, LSU was down players, and that was shocking enough to see Mississippi State beat them. And Ole Miss played with Florida for a while. So we're just going to have to get to that quarterback. And I'm not as confident this week. And I'll openly admit this. I still think Kentucky's experience, coaching staff-wise and on the field, is going to get the job done. I think Kentucky does run the ball. I'm calling for 150-plus yards rushing again. And another, 200-yard game for Terry passing. I would like to see, maybe 200 yards rushing and, 300-yard passing game. So 200 yards rushing, 300 yards passing. Because you go back and look at the stats from last week, if you actually take off UK and Auburn off take their names off, and I came to you and I said, hey, who won this game? Kentucky had the most yards. Kentucky gave up the less yards defensive-wise. Kentucky had, total offense. Kentucky won that. Kentucky won the rushing battle. Kentucky won the passing. Kentucky won the time possession. This is, and you would have picked wrong. Seeing that Auburn won 29-16, you look at the stats, you would have thought Kentucky won the game. You would have thought those stats were Auburn. But I'm going to go with a low-scoring game this week. I say Kentucky gets the job done. Last I saw, the spread was 7. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with 24-17. Kentucky gets the game, gets the job done. This could easily be a 24-21 game, a 21-17 game, I could even see a 17-14 game. I don't know about Ole Miss's defense. I don't know if they have that kind of capability, but Kentucky gets the job, done, and I'm going to go ahead and call it, I'm going with 24-17. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a nice day. Go Cats. And I'm going to try to come back at halftime. How about that? Peace.